Hey, property management friends. Welcome to This Week in Property Management. I'm your host, Jeremy Pound from RentScale. Well, it's almost election time, so we thought we'd go political and invite the current president on today's show. No, not that president. This one is far less divisive. We've got the 2023-2024 National President of NARPM here to walk us through the highlights of her year in office. We've got Melissa Sharone live with us to recap the highlights of the NARPM National Conference that we went to last week in Dallas. But while we wait for our other friends to join us live, let's take a look at a highlight from a recent episode. I maybe either have the wrong team or I'm the wrong manager and I've created dysfunction. What happens when you start to see that?
I think dysfunction often manifests as symptoms across companies, like processes, the culture, the team dynamics, which could all be traced back to these underlying structural issues. From a strategic standpoint, first diagnostic step involves evaluating key performance indicators, vacancy rates and maintenance turnaround times, and our finances, our P&Ls, and clients. Are they satisfied with performance in these areas that may signal like operational inefficiencies and misaligned roles or even outdated processes?
So be sure that you're subscribed to us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter, or X as they call it now, so that you can watch these industry episodes live and be the first to hear what's new and trending and participate in the comments, which I invite you to do today. So, all right, as I mentioned, we're freshly back from a fantastic week in Dallas from the NARPM National Conference. I'm finally getting some sleep and some rest and not drinking every night. And I've got the president herself here to share her personal highlights and to recap her year in office as president. But first, as a vendor, I want to share a slightly different experience that I have at these events. So I'm setting up meetings with our best clients and I'm networking with vendors. So I just have a different point of view when I go to these conferences. And I just want to share some quick takeaways that I experienced while I was in Dallas based on the people that I get to speak with. So first, overall, in 2024, many vendors said that it's been slow signing on new business, getting hired by new property managers. Now, from a vendor perspective, I think a lot of growth decisions were being made very quickly based on pent-up demand after COVID. Perhaps all of us had some of that pent-up demand and surplus budgets after being locked down and not being sure about spending money for a couple of years. And while no vendor I spoke to said that things in general were bad, there just seemed to be this agreement that property managers were just a little less frothy and excited to invest in their business or try new things. And that may also be because of the unusual real estate market that we're in, where it's hard to get investors to buy new properties. And that was just a general trend that I heard as I talked to my vendor friends as we walked the halls. Now, second, I did get to sit on some of the content, and I'm excited to see the focus on treating clients like real estate investors and acting like advisors to our clients versus just being service providers to property management clients. We just assume sometimes that we have no business talking to them about growing their portfolio or learning more or teaching them more about real estate investing. But for years now, as you know, if you've been in the community, we've been encouraging BDMs to treat their clients like they are real estate advisors to them. In fact, that's why we have those great flashcards that you can get on Amazon, The Language of Real Estate Investing. My best clients have been educating their clients on investing for years and bringing them new deals and new potential opportunities to buy unsolicited. And it seems like this theme is finally getting traction at more of a Main Street level. In fact, right after this, I have an update call with our friends over at Blanket to learn more about the features that they're releasing to their clients soon. I remain steadfast that the winners in this business will be advisors and not just service providers. And this conference gave me optimism that this idea is spreading and that more property managers are starting to advise on real estate investing versus just service the assets. That was exciting for me. Okay, quick update on our big event in Austin on December 6th. By now, I'm sure you've heard about Sales Mastery. So got the website, go to salesmastery.live. We're inviting 100 companies to come to Austin. By the way, this is the Friday after Lead Simple University. So Lead Simple University is Tuesday to Thursday. Sales Mastery is Friday. We are selling out fast. It is going to be amazing. we have spent a ton of time in 2024 basically documenting what our fastest growing clients are doing and going out and learning what could come into play in 2025. I've been sending our coaches to tons of conferences. So Jen and I went to some amazing entrepreneur conferences. I've been going to a bunch of AI conferences. Just next week, some of our coaches are going to the Outbound Conference, which is one of the biggest sales conferences for any industry in the entire country. And Jen and I are going to Resi Club, which, I share a lot of their data in New York City. And we're going to learn about the trends in real estate investing and residential real estate and build to rent. So I'm really excited to bring all of that back and bring it to you in 2025. It's going to be an amazing event. There's still some tickets left. It is December 6th. You can sign up at salesmastery.live. So it's www.salesmastery.live. And tickets go up in price on November 15th. So I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to be there. Okay, so lots more highlights to go over from the national conference, but you shouldn't hear them from me. You should hear them from our guests. First, just a quick word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Strategic PM, the magazine for property management entrepreneurs and executives. If you go online to strategicpm.com today, you're going to find an entire website full of content written about your industry and by your peers. And it's completely free to sign up. Just go ahead and click on the create a free account right in the upper right-hand corner. When you click on that, not only can you create a digital account, but you can actually add your mailing address and we will send you a free 1-year subscription of the print magazine, which will be showing up in your offices every single quarter. So if you take a look inside the magazine, what you're gonna see is that we are focused on growth. We've got 5 pillars of Strategic PM: vision, strategy, culture, marketing, and experience. You're gonna be seeing some great high-class content from some of the best thought leaders in the industry talking about the matters that matter the most to your business. So sign up for free today at strategicpm.com and look for the magazine in your office. All right, I'd like to welcome to the stage our guest, Melissa Sharone, owner of First Rate Property Management and the outgoing president of NARPM National. Thank you for your service, Melissa. Are you home? You rested up? How you feeling after the big event is over and the world tour is coming to an end?
I am home. It has taken me a few days to rest up and relax. I'm still working from home, if that's any indication. But well worth all the time and energy and late nights to have such a fantastic week last week in Dallas.
It was a great event. And off the top of your head, I mean, how many people were there? Just for somebody who's not been to understand the scope of what we're talking about.
Yeah, so over 1,100 people, and that includes property managers and vendors. But our industry and our events wouldn't be the same without each side of those. And so we were all there sharing great ideas together, having a good time. And it was definitely an event that people won't want to miss in the future.
It was great. I love seeing you on stage, walking through everything, raising all that money, which we're going to talk about in a couple moments. And yes, if you haven't been, this is it's Vegas scale. Just walking from one side of the hotel to the other was exhausting in its own right. So it was massive and it was great. I saw nothing but smiles on people's faces and they were very excited about it. So we're going to talk about the event, but first I want to talk about your year. I think a lot of people watching this are NARPM members or think about getting a NARPM. And they probably can't get their heads wrapped around what it's like to, even be their local president, no less than national president. So I just want you to ask you to share a little bit about what that was like and what your year was like. What were the highlights and what do you want to share with somebody who wants to get involved in NARPM at a leadership level?
Yeah, so I think I've heard this before and I'll say it again today. I am where I am personally and professionally because of what NARPM has provided in my life. And it starts at the ground level. Nobody, maybe rarely, maybe there's some people out there that say, I can't wait to be NARPM president one day. But you drink the Kool-Aid, you get involved at a local level, small scale, and you see all of the benefits that it brings to you. And then you want to keep giving back. And I know for me personally, I was given a really good opportunity from Tony Drost, who's a former owner of First Rate, who was also a NARPM National President, and allowed me to get involved early. And so it helped myself, like I said, personally, and helped me grow within my business, which I now own. And so my time in NARPM was really about giving back to the member and helping people be successful. I have fulfilled that dream of mine to be able to do that, and I will continue to give back. And I'm a true testament of when you focus on the members and taking care of, it's really helping your industry as a whole. So I've enjoyed this year. We've had some really big highlights with some high level things at the board. We have a exciting new data-driven software project that we'll be releasing in 2025. So that's a little teaser for everybody. We just passed this last week. We've accomplished a lot of things at the committee level, and there's a lot of members out there working hard to make NARPM and our industry stronger. It takes everyone though. So it's a matter of everyone doing their part. It's kind of been my theme this year. Things can happen in small bites, and if everyone takes time to find what they're passionate about in this industry, there's a place in NARPM for you. And so I encourage everybody to get involved.
That was great. Thanks for the tease. I can't wait to know more about that software product. Obviously, I go and I really enjoy going to the more regional events. I mean, obviously, I go to the big ones, Broker or National, but I really going to the regional. I really enjoy going to the regional as well, and because you get to meet everybody. And I kept seeing you everywhere, so you clearly had a busy travel schedule. It was great to see you out there. How many nights do you think you spent on the road over the last year? Have you added it up, or are you afraid to admit it?
I have not added it up. I thought about adding that in my little goodbye speech last week, how many miles I've flown and nights I've slept in a hotel. But to me, that doesn't matter. I served where it was necessary at the time. I feel like my travel at sometimes was really back to back to back. In fact, there was one trip where I literally didn't come home. I just stayed for 10 days in Florida, 2 different events. But I also had a really good break in the summer, and that was important to me, and time with my family. This last few months have been a little hectic with, school and my kids' football. Plus, I was gone a lot. But I'm really fortunate to have had a husband in the industry with me, helping run our business, and good help at home. But I've enjoyed being away and having these members, just like I talked about before. It's been one of the highlights is getting to see the people in their own areas and thriving in their businesses.
Yes, I think I saw you on that extended trip, and you were nothing but smiles. You had no problem with it, which I think is fantastic. You've got a great battery on you, which is amazing. All right, before we get to the conference, every president gets to pick a charitable organization that they want to raise money for, a cause, and I loved yours. So would you share with us the charity that you selected and how you did in terms of raising funds for them?
Yeah, so I selected the Pat Tillman Foundation this year. And for those who haven't heard my story, I have a twin sister who is a Pat Tillman recipient. What they do is they basically further educate military and or spouses. She happens to be a reservist and a military spouse. And so she is basically changing lives every day as a palliative care nurse practitioner. And she gets to do that all because of the Pat Tillman Foundation. So they really are further educating people that live and work in our own communities to make them better and stronger. It was important to me that it had personal touch. It made it easier to raise funds, but not to mention Pat Tillman himself was an NFL player who chose to give up life and that career to go serve for his country. So somebody who's humble and led by example. And now the foundation gives back to those that are willing to live out Pat's legacy. I started out the year of basically creating challenges. And so again, back to things come from small pieces. I knew if everyone just did their part that we would accomplish great things. I didn't really set a goal, but I was hoping we would get over 100,000, and we are definitely going to surpass that mark this year. It really just was by the effort of every little person doing their part, and it collectively added up to a big amount. We had a really good, successful charity event in Dallas. We did football, bowling, really competitive property managers who all wanted to win. But in the end of the day, it raised good money and pushed over that $100,000 mark. So I'm super pleased and blown away by the generosity this year. And I'm looking forward to presenting a check to the Pat Tillman Foundation next week when I go to Chicago to their honors event.
Amazing. I followed the Pat Tillman Foundation for a long time. I remember I'm of the age when I knew when he retired and after 9/11, and I saw that. And so it's not a hard foundation to want to give to, but you really brought in some special magic by sharing your sister's story. And I think every time I was anywhere where you asked, we gave, because it was just amazing. And one of the times I remember giving was in unrelated to being president. You and I both belong to Property Management Health Group. And you said, hey, running a business and having 3 kids and being president, it's not enough. I need more challenge. Like, I'm just going to do more. And you decided to embark on an amazing transformation during this year, which is just like, I'm almost emotional saying it. It's just amazing to see like everything you took on at one time. And so would you mind sharing with us what you did this year, which I remember thinking, I was like, okay, now I really got to give because this woman is giving everything. So tell us about your transformation that you embarked on this year.
Yeah, so I randomly had posted something online and on the PM Health group that I was like back into walking and working out, and I was determined to lose weight. And Peter Hernandez had reached out, hey, let me help you. And that led to, hey, you want to lose 40 pounds by convention? And I was like, sure. Well, then he told me he was going to blast it on PM Health. So he did, but probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. So I was like, oh, great. All these people are watching me. They're holding me accountable. But it was exactly what I needed. It was by far the hardest thing I have done in a very long time. But I did it. I lost 42 pounds early before convention. I feel great. I'm super thankful for all the help along the way and all the supporters like you and everyone else who joined in raising money for the Pat Tillman Foundation and helping me get healthy. So it was a win-win for everybody.
I'm so impressed by this, Melissa. I would like, I feel like if we had the data and we could look at the, anybody that volunteers for something, and I'm not calling out other presidents, I'm just saying anybody that volunteers for a year like this, if we graph them, everybody's going to gain 5 to 10 pounds just because of the stress and everything. So I just loved that you countered it and you said, hey, I'm not actually going to be a victim of that. I'm actually going to get better personally and health-wise while we do that. So I just thought that was amazing because, like I said, if we just charted everybody else who's been through something like that versus you'd probably be the only one under the line. It'd be like 90 people above the line gaining weight and you lost weight. So it was amazing. It was inspirational. We checked in a couple times at different events and I saw you making healthy decisions. I also saw you admitting, hey, I had a little setback. No problem. I'm right back on the horse, and that is life. So I just think it's amazing. Kudos to you for doing that. That was amazing. All right. So let's talk about the conference. Tell us about the conference. You were there. Obviously, I mean, you didn't put on the whole conference, but I saw you speaking. You were in the sessions. What were your highlights? What did you take away?
Yeah, so my highlights are probably a little bit higher level than most. It's an exciting time for us. And like I said, it's really us for there as board members to just be there for our members. And so there is a committee that plans it. They did an outstanding job with the lineup. We've had nothing but good feedback about the content provided, whether it was in keynote sessions or breakouts, and a wide variety that really appealed to the 240 some first timers we had in Dallas, to the people that have been going for 20 years. I got to hand out some amazing awards to people in NARPM that are so deserving of all their recognition and their hard work. We got to honor members that have been in NARPM for 25, 30, and I believe 35 years. An amazing testament to what the organization provides. And as always, there was such strong networking and bonding, whether it be with new affiliates or reconnecting with clients, and again, finding ways to make our industry better together. All the things that NARPM provides at these events really proves that. And so again, if it's something you're not attending, whether it's a state or a broker owner or a national, there's definitely something there for everybody. And it was a week filled with really rich education and strong networking, and of course, all the family fun that we have every time together.
Yes, definitely. Everywhere I went, like I said, everybody had a smile on their face. Everybody was excited. I'm close to 6 years into this industry. Grateful for Joy Malaya from Lead Simple finding me and bringing me in. And at this point, the events were always fun, but at this point, it's just it's like catching up with family. You're seeing everybody, you're having a good time. And I'm even going to all the sessions, but I'm a learner, so I'm trying to go to as many sessions as I can sneak into as a vendor, because that's just who I am. But it's just amazing to see all these people, see how their growth is. Everybody's catching up with everybody. It's amazing. That's what I love about the nationals. But next year, we're really committed to going to more of the local ones. Like I said, we hung out at Southern States. I think there was another one. My memory escapes me. It's been a long year. Last year we went to a bunch. I will say that Renscale is committed this year to going to more of the regional and the state, because then you get to meet everybody at a single conference. And like you said, it's like more of a local level, meet them where they're at. Do you have any recommendations for somebody who is in NARPM, who loves the organization or wants to get more involved? Like, obviously, not everybody's going to want to be president. Although apparently if you become president, you immediately lose 42 pounds, which is amazing. So people should want to do that. But you clearly, you are not alone. Like, I say this because, I told you, we talked to Tim, the former president. He said it's a life-changing event. Like, I cannot say that I would want anything other than to be a part of this organization. And I just hear that over and over again. So what's your kind of advice for somebody who wants to get more involved, whether it's just joining their local chapter or going to regional, being on a board? Like, any advice that you want to give somebody who wants to get more involved?
Yeah. We talk about this a lot as we travel around. There's lots of opportunities. And I tell people this: if you're scared to talk in front of people, don't think that getting involved, that's what that means. If you don't want to get on stage, there's lots of opportunities, but it starts at the local level. If you have a local chapter, you should be a member. You should be going and meeting those people. You should be taking advantage of the education, or in a lot of cases, CE classes that people are putting on for you. There's also a lot of national committee opportunities where it's all on Zoom. You don't have to travel. You don't have to be at an event. You can have an input on what speakers are picked for convention or broker owner. Both of those are committees. You can be a part of member services, professional development, governmental affairs, which is a big one coming up. We have a lot of legislation to fight. Those committees consist of just a group of people, have a chair that leads them. But if you're not involved, you're missing out on opportunities that you never would have had otherwise. So being involved doesn't mean you have to, like me, be sitting here on a live podcast with you or talking on stage at National Convention. But no one goes into this thinking, oh, I don't want to do this. It leads you to opportunities, and then you're willing to give back because of what it's given to you. So local chapter, we have a at-large chapter for those who don't have a chapter. They do quarterly webinars that you guys can get education from. There's leadership opportunities there. And then there's also the designations, which I've been passionate about day one since NARPM. It really elevates our industry. So those three little letters after your name, they mean something. They mean that you've done the work, you've put in the time, you're educated, and you're the best that you can be. No different than a doctor or a CPA or any of those people that have to have certifications. And so getting involved, getting education allows you to earn those designations. And then together as a whole, our industry becomes stronger. And that's really what we're after.
Fantastic. Yeah, I just had so much fun getting to know everybody, go to all these things. And I've just watched leaders be forged out of volunteering. And that's just a common theme. I mean, get involved, help out. This is a personal value of mine. And, forgive the, the male version of this. But what I remember learning early on is the purpose of mankind is to be kind to man. I mean, show up, give back, like help everybody else out. When you're giving value, like that's when people find meaning and purpose. And I'm seeing that, that is just what comes out of these organizations. It's a totally volunteer organization. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's elevating the organization. I'm guessing that the check that they wrote you for being president was very small. Am I correct on that, Melissa?
He has zero.
It's even smaller than I was hoping it was.
Don't do it for that, right? You're in it for the reasons that you're in it. And monetarily, it is a lot of time and it is a lot of work. and it takes a lot of years of prep to be able to have the time that NARPM needs at this level. There are a lot of opportunities that don't require the time that being president does, but I would do it all over again, and it was worth every bit of my time this year for sure.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, leadership is a privilege, and you pay for that privilege in different ways. So I love that. All right, let's talk about just kind of what's next. You were very kind to kind of tease us with some technology that may be coming. What do you like? Paint a picture for 2025. What can we expect as NARPM members out of the organization next year? Where are you guys going?
Yeah, so NARPM's really committed right now to elevating the we provide to our members. So yes, we have the conference. Yes, we have local chapters and those things, but what else of value can we provide to elevate our industry, to help grow our members? And so we are, like I said, approved a software data project that we're hoping will take us to that next level and provide people with the tools and the resources they need to be able to compare their own company with a third-party data-driven software project that will help them figure out what they need to do better in their companies. So I know we've seen a lot of this dabbled with some other vendors, but NARPM's taking this project in-house, and we're going to provide this information, and we are hoping to get it fully launched within the first quarter of 2025. And so stay tuned for what that looks like. And I know it will be a definite added value, and one of the best things that NARPM, new things that they've provided to their members in quite some time.
Thank you for giving us a sneak peek. That's awesome. And I want to ask you, clearly you're still going to be past president. You're still going to be doing a ton of stuff, but I like to make up that you're going to have all this newfound time on your plate. So what's next for you and your company? What's 2025 look like for you?
Well, I'm sure my husband will tell you that he's just going to be glad that I'm back in the company helping. No, all kidding aside, we have a really great management team, and we're really fortunate for me to be able to step away and give the time to NARPM this year. But it is time for me to get back into the company as they continue to come up with great new big ideas, and then they hand them off to me, and I have to implement them within my own employees. I love that part of my job. I've been absent from that this year. I also get to come home and be a mom and not miss football games and take my kids to school and pick them up. I'm really fortunate in the role that I have that flexible schedule. And I'm excited to just get back into our normal daily routine and be able to be there for my employees, to be able to give my husband a break, and hopefully take our company to its next level of exciting new things that we have planned for the next couple of years.
Sounds like an exciting season. Is there anywhere you want people to connect with you or follow you? Do you have anything you're trying to grow personally?
Well, we started our podcast this year. I also did that this year as president because that was such a great idea, right? We've had a lot of fun with it. It's called Married to Property Management. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's really a dynamic podcast that we talk a lot about working together and share some of our personal life. We also talk a lot about property management and the things that have worked well for us and haven't. My funny husband throws in some humor in there, and then we're just starting to add some guests. We had Randall Henderson on our last episode that went over really well. So we would love for people to tune in, and if you have any ideas of things you'd like us to discuss, send them my way, and we're happy to chat about them.
I love it. Let me know if we can help with that. Melissa, it sounds funny saying this, but thank you for your service, because it is a service. Like we joked about, the check, the number on your check was 0, and you gave so much. I saw you there. I'm glad you were president because I got to know you in a way that I didn't get to know you before. And it's been amazing. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Jeremy, for having me on today.
All right. Melissa Sharone is a Boise native and graduated from Boise State University with a bachelor's degree in communications. As the president of First Rate Property Management, it is her job to oversee our committed, proactive, and service-driven team. As we shared today, Melissa has been the national president of NARPM. She and her husband are investors in a multi-unit complex in Boise, and they have 3 amazing kids. They enjoy spending lots of time at their family cabin in McCall and attending Boise State football games. And of course, as Melissa just said, she likes seeing her kids play football. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Let me know how I can help you. I want to support you any way we can. I can't wait to see you soon. All right. Let's hear from our sponsors. We'll be back with the event calendar.
Hi there. Did you know that RentScale hosts one of the largest communities of property management sales professionals in North America? Well, my name is Reese Register, and I'm actually a previous BDM and currently a scale coach here at RentScale. We provide over 20 hours monthly of teaching and training and accountability to make sure that our BDMs are supercharging their sales business through inbound, outbound, and allbound. So if you're interested in learning more about supercharging your business, go over to rentscale.com. We'll be glad to schedule a consult and see how we can help you transform your business today.
All right, let's just wrap up quickly with the event calendar because I want to see you guys in person. First of all, I'm glad to say after NARPM National, I'm actually excited that we got a little time off. We don't have an event for the entire month of November, which I'm actually slightly excited about, even though I love seeing you guys. But we're back with tons of events in December and January. So in December 3rd to 5th, we've got Lead Simple University in Austin, Texas. I like to say that Austin in December is like the South by Southwest of property management. We've got great events. I myself and Jen will be speaking at Lead Simple University. It looks like it's going to be a fantastic event and can't wait to see you there. And if you come, stay an extra day because on December 6th, the Friday, we've got the event that I told you about before. We've got our biggest ever event. If you want to grow your property management company in 2025, we have spent the entire year working on this event. December 6th, we've got RentScale Sales Mastery. We're limiting it to 100 companies. We're getting pretty close, and it's absolutely going to be an amazing event. It's actually where Lead Simple University was last year at 800 Congress, although we're going to have an entirely different setup, 12-foot LCD screens, surprise speakers, tons of great stuff, and I cannot wait to see you guys there. So sign up now. Then we're going to take some time off for the holidays. We'll be back in January 20th to the 23rd. We'll be at the PM Systems Conference in Las Vegas, Nevada. Jen and I will also be speaking there and sponsoring that event. And I was hanging out with the guys who organize this event at the NARPM National Conference, and they have so much excitement around this event. So cannot wait to see you guys there, January 20th to 23rd, PM Systems Conference. And now we're starting to really get into 2025 events. We also have the North Carolina State Conference, which I'm very excited about. That is in February. And then from there, we go to Cal NARPM. And there's just a ton of events that I'm going to start sharing with you. But I'm going to keep it there because I try to only go around 3 to 4 months out. But we will definitely be at the North Carolina State Conference in Raleigh, North Carolina. One of my favorite state conferences. They're all my favorite state conferences, so I don't know what I'm saying. But it's going to be amazing, and I want to see you guys there. As I said, we are committed to being more at the regional and state conferences next year. They're some of my favorite. You really get to know everybody. So hope all of these events are on your calendar, and I hope to actually shake hands with you and hang out with you guys in person, learn from you, and bring those lessons back and share them on This Week in PM. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for joining in and learning about the latest tips and trends from the top residential property managers in North America. Please be sure to join us every time so you don't miss your competitive advantage. Check out all the latest going on in property management and get details and show notes from the show and guests about on strategicpm.com. You can go to strategicpm.com to learn more about today's episode and learn more about what's happening in the industry. And that's what's happening this week in PM.